Angelo here, and I'm here joined once again with my bro Mono.
Hey.
And basically, we are gonna break down. It's been a couple days since this video has been out, but I've been overburdened at work, so I haven't really had the amount of time I'd like to edit videos and even stream. But here we go, breaking it down. This is Preach's, what was he calling it? The Endgame, right? The unguided playthrough, first time playthrough of Path of Exile has now come to an end. And as a new player experience, and I think he played just around about 200 hours, give or take.
Somewhere around there.
And because of that now, these are his conclusion, or I guess you can say his final thoughts as a new player in Path of Exile. So Mono took the liberty of taking some notes so this doesn't get derailed too hard like my brain mindlessly wanders as usual. So the first thing that he was talking about as far as new player experience was the Alt key is an extremely important key, and this needs to be communicated a lot sooner, is what Preach was saying. Not only that, I believe you have to physically go into options. So if you're not one of those option hunters or just the option kid, that's something that I always did whenever I played any online video game because I never had the best PC. I was always like bottom, if not middle of the row PC, so I always had to go into options to adjust, and I'd never had the max settings. This game is actually one of the few games I'm actually kind of at the max settings, but I do suffer from some of the slowdown and whatnot. But again, Triple G is working on it, and yeah, it's getting better. Although for some reason when I stream and I play the game, I have to play on Vulkan. I can no longer play on DirectX 11. It's kind of weird because then my stream just lags hard. But the gameplay is fine, but the stream is just choppy as all hell. So what do you think about that, Mono? I mean, do you agree on that?
I never used the Alt key, I think, for the first 40 hours of my playthrough, and then you saw me manually moving stuff to my stashes, and you said, hey, hold Alt.
Oh, no. Alt, what he meant for the Alt was the, what was it? The extra info. Control was another one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Control.
My bad.
See, so we're super noobs, and we still... I forgot the only reason I learned how to do that was through the stream. So basically, I only learned that because other people were telling me. I would have been moving stuff. I would actually be click, hold, and dragging.
Oh, Alt for the information.
Alt for the information, yes. But you're right. The Alt key, like an alternative key to move stuff in, was Control. But like the actual physical Alt key, which you actually have to go to the options menu and check it off. Otherwise, you don't get the extra information like, oh, this is the range of what you can roll on this item, or what this item is, or like it'll be like point blank. It's like, what the fuck is point blank?
I moved every item manually.
Now
I will never forget.
Now hey, he felt the weight of the items, boys. Now the difference between that though, did you click and move, or did you, like me, until someone kept yelling at me in stream, I was clicking, holding, and moving it as if I was dragging something over your computer's desktop.
Yep.
You're
that was
doing
me.
it that way?
Yep.
It was a rough mess. But okay, moving.
Both keys are important though.
Both keys, 100%. Alt and Control. And then, something I didn't know was I was also manually clicking like my chroma, then right click, left click, right click, left click.
God, holding the right click?
No, that's the shift button. I believe it's the shift.
Hold the shift?
I think it's the shift button.
It's second nature to me now, so I don't even know what I'm doing.
I know. I think it's the shift key where you got to hold that shift key to be able to constantly reuse items. So if you're trying to like Jeweler's Orb, Orbifusing, Chroma something, or Alt, Alk your maps, or you know whatever, you just hit that, and I believe it's shift. Now again, I never look at the keyboard.
Alt, Control, and Shift.
Alt, Control, and Shift, all very
important keys.
Very important keys. Next one he also talked about, good old Preach. He was talking about the help panel again.
I've never used it.
I used it maybe once or twice, and the first time I used it, and like I clicked on some. Oh, I was looking at vendor recipes. Yeah, so like when I was still in Lion's Head, I actually did use it, but I didn't read everything. I probably should have read everything, and I'm definitely not as smart as Preach, where he actually used the search. There's a search function, man. Come on, dude. I mean, again, it's amazing. The ingenuity that someone, an older classical type gamer, knows these type of things. Glossaries do that. Unless you know what a fucking dictionary or an encyclopedia, you never knew what a fucking glossary is. That is very old school.
Well, I mean, the reason why he wanted the help panel to be updated with all the new information and have a better search function is because not everyone wants to interact with content creators and social media platforms. So, someone who just wants to do everything through the game, it makes it way too difficult. You almost have to go and interact. And with any game you're invested in, you're going to interact with as many platforms as you can find. You're going to find who the biggest content creators are. You're going to be curious and you're going to go into their streams. But for a new player experience, just playing Path of Exile, there are a lot of things that aren't explained and they're very confusing.
Agreed. And with that, I mean, I started this game as well. And when I started this game, I wanted to just be the noob. Now, granted, that didn't happen because I was streaming it and everybody came in, flooded, told me I need to do this, I need that, this, that. This is what that does. Make sure you get this. Oh, just go to trade, go to that. And I was like, dude, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. And they're saying like, oh, well, that's for, what was it? I think Maven was new when we started. So they weren't saying that, but they were saying, oh, that's for Elder or that's a Shaper. I'm like, the fuck is that?
Well, as the memes would say, unless you're in just chatting, you're backseating here on Twitch.
That's true. That's pretty much it.
Heck.
I mean, it's not incorrect, and everyone will be yelling at you, oh, that's so bad. That's another thing. He was specifically talking about like things whenever we're gonna jump a bit, but he was talking about how sometimes people will always talk about min-maxing. That's not a good build because you're not min-maxing. But he's like, did you see his loadout and his weapon and his layout and his skill set? He made it all the way to the fucking almost yellow maps. No help whatsoever. So everybody that is like, in a way, gatekeeping, maybe they know it, maybe they don't know it. But just tell people to try it and have fun. But I know a lot of people are overwhelmed. Oh, you got to know everything about the skill tree, the passive tree. You need to know everything about this. You need to know everything about this, everything about that. And it's like, you're not playing a game at that point. You're going to college. You're going to college, and then how apt that Zizaran has a university. You don't go from preschool.
POE University.
100%, shout out. But you don't go from like grade school to a university. you got to learn the basics. So and that's something that Preach was talking about too. And that's the thing with the social media platforms and like the content creators is that it's just way too advanced. Like, how am I supposed to learn anything in a calculus class when I don't even know simple algebra? I'm just gonna be looking at all this stuff and they're like, and then they're gonna look at you like, you don't know this? And it's like, well, fuck, no.
Well, he did say that when it comes to external resources and being a member of the community, min-maxing is where that becomes useful. But if you seriously have to go to the community to be like, all right, how do I not die in these maps?
No, the best one would be like, how am I dying from these porcupines? And it's like, is it physical? And it turns out that it's a little bit of chaos damage, right? How would you ever know that? I never even learned that.
I still died of those porcupines on my occultist.
I mean, hey, well, I mean, they hit hard. I mean, that's why I'm still fucking using a brass dome.
I mean,
lol.
Now I remember why, like, you don't run into the porcupine packs, because I'm still playing like I'm a gladiator. So, yeah.
Yeah, for me, like, it's funny. Mono and I started on two different spectrums of the game. Mono started on the gladiator or the duelist side, so the straight south. And I started with what was the witch character, and she starts straight north. So north and south. So he was, like, in the middle of attacking, speed, a little bit of health, and armor. And I was in no armor, energy shield, quick to die, but have a good amount of DPS and summoning skills and stuff like that. So it's just very interesting. To me, it's refreshing because in a way, it validates my playstyle of my first couple leagues without using guides and always going through the entire story or campaign. And then I start looking up potential builds that can help me after I already made it there. Of course, the constant backseating I get in my stream all the time too. But I want to say that this most recent stream, Expedition, was probably the slowest in terms of backseating because majority of people just weren't playing. So, yeah. But going back to another...
You mean majority of people weren't Path of Building.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm using Path of Building, but I'm using it the same way Preach was using it, where you want to test a line or a thing that, or a line of things that he created. You do that, and then you get out and back to the game. Like the way he stays in Path of Building, I like it. It's quick as fuck. And he's like, does that work?
You mean you're not gonna go into somebody's stream and then completely break down their build and change it through Path of Building, and then try to convince them for hours on end that they should try this, but not commit any currency to that change?
That's true. I mean, you need a lot of Orb of Regrets. You need... It's just so many things.
You got to change almost your entire loadout of gear.
Yeah, your gear, your loadout,
but, you know, this
modifiers.
This random person plugging in numbers. Are they worth it?
I mean, min-maxing is fine, but again, if you're not
asking for it.
Well, if you're not asking for it, it's like, give it an option, but at the same time, again, I don't like dying. So if I'm going to min-max at the cost of my HP, I don't want to do that. Especially like a giant swing in HP.
I also don't want to friggin' change my whole build. Like, if there's a skill I want to use, if there's an item setup I want to use, like, why can't I use that? Why do I have to change everything?
And that's why I say, go to the end. Finish campaign. Now, obviously, I know that there's tips and tricks on how to farm currency, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty rough. But I was able to roughly get 21 exalt by fucking just wheeling and dealing, grinding fucking maps, logbooks, buying logbooks, doing logbooks, trading with Tujin, getting exalt shards. Like, one time I got 1 exalt. I did get 1 exalt through Tujin. So I'm still waiting for my mirror, Tujin. Fuck. But anyway, going back to also another thing, before we jumped over, it was, he was talking about mouse tooltips. Mouse over tooltips, which are just very easy. He said it took him about 100 hours to find out what resistances were. Again, I don't know if I would have understood it. I think, again, chat probably helped me. So, like I said, don't get me wrong. It may sound like I'm shitting on chat. Chat's great when you're looking for the help.
Actually, to fully understand defenses, I had to watch an almost 3-hour video. I won't say from where. I'm sure everyone knows. But it was long and it was tedious, and I'm sure you didn't want to watch it, but I did.
Yeah, and I was like, why do I need to watch that to figure out defense? I'm just going to try armor.
And I can do it for you.
Yeah, and I'm going to try energy shield. I think at that time I was doing energy shield specifically, because then I think that was the next league. And then I was already dying all the time on Necro, but then now it's Ultimatum League, and I went all in. I was like, because every league I tried to do a different play style, character type, and again, everyone says, oh, it gets boring, or at this or that. Try something new.
I had to watch that whole video. It didn't explain how block factors into other defensive layers. Hence why I don't want to say where that video is from or who made it. I don't want to hurt feelings.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It's on the internet. People like it, they don't. Clearly, looks like you're about neutral / on the anger side.
That was almost 3 hours.
3 hours of your life is 3
hours.
Now, like I said, I'm trying to make this a little quicker and wrap it up for you guys. So hopefully, you're not sitting here going, the fuck.
So we're not doing a 3-hour thing and not giving people the information they want?
Damn right, 3-hour tour. Gilligan's Island.
For a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour.
But next thing we can always talk about, guys, is yeah, basically just, again, mouse over tooltips, and just like, all you have to do is either that or hold Alt, and it just tells you what it is. Like, this is max, min, max. And like, just small little things. Obviously, it's a little bit, they already do it anyway, but now they just got to do a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, and then the other thing about tooltips is he still doesn't know what endurance charges do, and he still doesn't know what focused is. And to be honest, I've never looked it up, and I always mean to look it up. I have no idea what focused is.
I had a stream chat with like 2 or maybe like 3, 4, or 5 people that were in my chat at the time, and they were saying it's a veiled like modifier, and I'm like, okay, cool. So it's like fortify. So what skill gives you focus? They're like, Is there a skill that gives? Because like obviously there's one where it's like, oh, your fortify is stronger, yada yada yada. But you need to have the fortify support to get fortify. So I kept asking them, so what's the skill that gives focused? And they're like, no, it's not a skill. So like, wait, so there isn't a skill? So I just got to imbue the veiled, and then I'm focused. And then like, I think they said yes, but altogether, I'm still confused.
So then
on
they
it.
didn't know what focused is.
Obviously, no one uses it.
Let us know in the comments what focused is. We'll also look it up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel I already
There's
looked it up.
got to be someone out there that understands everything about focused.
Because like there's a lot of things like, oh, you get more armor when you're focused. You have a potential to do double damage when you're focused, and like it's like, dude, what is focused? Like, because whatever it is, there's some good shit, and I want to be able to do it. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments below what the fuck is focused. So even
I'm losing my focus.
Oh yeah, all the time, and that's what Preach was talking about. So, guys, finishing up. The other thing that he constantly was saying is that the game is not hard, but there are some systems that aren't explained very well. And that is what makes everybody kind of go, what the fuck? And the reason why he's deciding to start, again, quote unquote, on one of the worst leagues ever, supposedly, or the worst league of all time, whatever.
I like it.
I like it. I mean,
I like logbooks.
Logbooks are great, but he's playing during 3.15, and he still had a ball. And the biggest thing was that he was considering and comparing all action RPGs to his one experience in Diablo 3, where he just basically played, beat it, and they said, okay, now we got to beat it again. And he's like, what? We're just running through the campaigns over and over again? And then at the very end, he gets to, I guess, the end game or whatever, but I think he's still running the same.
The rifts.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know what it was.
It's a really repetitive dungeon.
And yeah,
Feels like you're running up a tower from what I saw. I could be completely wrong.
Well, great.
Like, you're running up like this. Remember that part in Final Fantasy VII where you keep going up the stairs? You do that, but forever.
Jesus. That doesn't
But
sound...
you're killing things, and it...
And basically what you're saying is then it becomes just a gear looting simulator.
Yep.
Which basically like the modern day shittier version of Cow Level.
And it actually soured him on all ARPG.
And
because
he believed that's how all of them were.
Yeah, he didn't like Diablo 3, and people suggested Diablo 2, and he lumped them all together until he kept seeing people playing Path of Exile.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, then just maybe because of the bad press, it got his attention.
He wanted a challenge. He took a look at that skill tree, and they're like, "Take a look at that skill tree."
Well, actually, you know what? I think what happened is maybe somebody kept telling him like, "Oh, you want to see tough and hard? You wouldn't be able to master this."
Look at that skill tree.
And then obviously he looked at that and he's like, "All right." And then like again, what we talked about when he first started, everyone was telling him, "Oh, you got to look at this, you got to watch this, you got to learn about this, you got to know about this, you got to look at this person's video, you got to look at that person's video, you got to learn all this stuff." And he just deleted everything. He's like, "Nope, I'm just gonna play." And that's pretty much the same way I went into it, because I personally feel that you're never gonna get this feeling again. So now that he's finished the game, he's never gonna have that feeling. He's never gonna have that excitement. He's never gonna have that wonder of playing through the first time. And I feel that's a very big thing that's missing from a lot of modern players now that have already read all the guides, have read all the things. They already have their build picked out. They already know what this does. They already know how that does. They already know how to craft this. They already know how to get this. They already know that they're going to go and farm a tabula rasa in the fucking waterways area, or the blood river, or the blood aqueducts, or whatever. And then they're just going to do, and basically now they're doing a game by numbers. And I think that's one of the worst ways to keep your interest in the game, because now you're just like, okay, so now I'm going from 1, now I'm going to 2. Okay, I'm at 2, now I'm going to 3. All right, now I'm at 3, now I'm going... There's no journey. There's no discovery. There's no like, oh, what if I try this skill? Oh, shit, it sucks. New skill. Or maybe it's, oh, damn, this skill's awesome. I never thought I'd use a skill. And then you go on and it's like, oh, what if I mix that skill with this skill? And then that's where the fun comes in. But most people, it's like, okay, if you're reading a guide, it's like, okay, I do this, and then I do this. Then I do this, and I do this. Then I do this, and I do this. And then what happens when at the end where you don't have anything? See, for him, he would die, and he'd be like, what happened? And I love the fact that every time he says that you die or something bad happens to your character, gets killed, he goes, the game is telling you something. Oh, you died? Well, maybe you don't have enough armor. Oh, maybe you don't have enough resistance. maybe you shouldn't stop moving. That still kills me all the time. You can't stop moving in this game. The second you stop moving, you're dead. So, another thing that I also learned, look at the fucking ground. There's always something. Burning ground, shock ground, what is it? That blood ritual one? Fuck that blood ritual thing right there. I hate that damn thing. That thing fucks
That's that
me up.
one guy that has the version of bleed that you can't have any. Your flask can't remove it, and it's not corrupted blood.
So basically, you just got to kill him and kill his clone, and then yeah,
before they sacrifice you.
Something like that.
Blood ritual.
I know, it's dark. And guys, basically, the final thoughts he overall had on it, aside from using Path of Building, he said it's not a good enough tool to see the skills and item combinations. Like, he wants a simpler way to test things without having to reroll. Because that was something else everyone kept telling him. They're telling him, hey, just reroll.
Well, that's...
If you want to try something new, just reroll.
That's something that's just how ARPGs are. Like, if you go to the reference game that almost no one nowadays has even played, Diablo 2.
The original.
If you fucked up your build, it's done.
Yeah.
You put everything in Corpse Explosion and they nerfed it.
Yep, that was me.
Time to play a Smite Paladin, huh?
Jesus.
Huh?
That was many years later. Many years later.
You just follow us and skill these auras.
Oh, fucking aura
and
bot.
then you smite.
Literally, and my smite did nothing. I think it had one knockback thing. It's like, that's what I do? That's what you fucking want me here to do? Oh my god, I want to at least be able to kill something.
Yeah, you walk with us and you
They literally took me to a fucking cow level, and I tried hitting a cow. I was like, I got this cow, guys, don't worry. I hit it once, and I was like, I don't even think I did any damage to it. And I'm like,
no, but you knocked it back, and you gave everyone auras.
Huh? That was 100%.
This is not the experience you wanted.
No, it's
I'm glad he
not.
didn't play Diablo 2.
Oh Jesus, if he played Diablo 2, I'm sure he would never give Path of Exile a chance. And finally, guys, I believe his final thoughts going to it. He said the game is not as daunting as people make it seem. He said it's a fun game. He said he really did not like Diablo 3. Fucking destroyed his overall thoughts of ARPGs, and he forever thought that ARPGs were shit because of his crappy Diablo 3 experience.
Then he played Path of Exile.
Exactly. And that is, he said, like, Path of Exile isn't a game where you just get gear and play repetitive combat over and over again.
And then you see that statue thing. Who's that guy? You know when you start up the game? Statue.
Oh, Innocence?
Is that him?
Yeah.
Oh,
the one sitting down in the chair?
Oh, yeah.
That's Innocence.
That's my terrible rendition of that music.
I was going to say, I didn't even know what the fuck you were doing there.
Yep.
But okay, guys, there we go. So this one doesn't take up too much of your time. Hopefully you're enjoying it.
He also says the Atlas is a mess, but they're fixing that.
Oh, that's true.
And he has no idea what any of the fragments, watchstones, or vessels do, and that's probably part of the alt-click thing.
I think that was part of the alt. Yeah, he just needs more information because, again, I'm the same way. I want to be able to play the game, and I want to learn everything in the game. I don't want to be like, hold up, let me go to fucking Google this bitch. I personally, as a player, don't want... when I'm in a video game, I'm in the video game. I don't want to be switching back and forth, minimizing my game to look at something, although I am using 2 monitors. But still, either which way, minimizing my game, in essence, to look and read about something on my other screen. So it's like, I don't... If I'm in the game, I'm in the game!
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Yeah. Again, I'm lost. Oh, that... Jesus Christ. Your rendition is horrible. Alright, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you guys thought about it. Hopefully you saw it. I'll leave a link for his video in the description below. Jesus. Alright, thank you guys very much for watching. Mono, any other closing thoughts?
Nope.
There you go.
I'm excited for the Pi League.
Oh, 3 point... Wait.
1.6?
No, Pi is 3.14.
I'm sorry.
What he's excited for is Austin 3.16.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
He's excited for Austin 3.16. DTA, don't trust anybody. And with that, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys out there. Later.
For a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour.
Freeze! Who are you? What are you doing here? Hold your fire! I'm a human!